Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty serious episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for, so please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let me just get into this immediately. Now, all of you know the number one news in the NBA that's trending right now is the Brooklyn Nets, right? And everything surrounding the Brooklyn Nets, which means that another piece of news that's going to be trending is the Ime Udoka story. I'm sure many of you already are fully aware of the story and know the backstory, so I don't really need to get into all of that. Now, just today, was doing some research, kind of combing through the internet, and then I saw a video from ESPN. And on this particular video, it was featuring, it was featuring Kendrick Perkins and Jay Williams. And they were asking them to kind of give their opinion on this entire Ime Udoka story. So when Jay Williams started to give his opinion, he started to say something that frankly kind of confused me, right? And he seemed to be kind of, unclear about why Ime Udoka was getting another job. And when he finished responding, I thought Kendrick Perkins said something to him that I think was very, very powerful. So for those of you who missed the exchange between Jay Williams and Kendrick Perkins, take a listen to it now, and then we're going to come back and unpack this thing. Take a listen to that here.
The question I have, Perk, is should he be in position to do so in the first place? And that's what I'm really torn about, man. Because I believe everybody deserves second chances, Perk. And I know Ime Udoka, from a basketball perspective, is genius. But there's a lot of stuff to unpack here optically about what he's coming into. So, hey, let me solve one calamity with another. In the state of chaos, now I'm going to bring another piece of chaos to the table. And optically for me, and I can't say the word on TV, this is the greatest blank show in the NBA. It feels like it optically, Perk, from everything that's happened with Kyrie, to what's happened with KD in the offseason with the ultimatum to Joe Tsai, with this team and the move they did with Ben Simmons sitting on the bench last year, bringing it in, and now to Ime Udoka. Now, I don't know. I would probably bet against them finding a way just to answer the bell and win a championship. I would highly bet against that because I don't know if you can just change everything overnight and all of a sudden start holding everybody accountable and then responding the right way. Maybe I'm wrong. I would like to be wrong. There's nothing better I would like to see than Kevin Durant win a championship and do it his way with his team, with Kyrie and Ben Simmons. Redemption for everybody. I would love to see that. I'm not going to bet for that, though. And my thing is, when you hear the Boston Celtics, Perk, not give up trade compensation, when they give up, they say, we don't need trade compensation in return for a head coach that just changed the culture and dynamic of a team and took them to the NBA Finals last year. What does that say about what actually occurred in that Boston Celtic organization? Now, they were very vague with all their details on every press conference. They didn't give a lot of insight to what went on. So with all that being said, optically adding that chaos to the chaos that already existed, how can a reasonable person actually feel good about that? And there's still going to be stuff that's going to come out about that. I get what the hopeful is on the court, but Perk, it's a lot to take in, man.
No, not really. Because, man, listen, we all make mistakes and we all have done things in our lives that we didn't have to bounce back from, and we didn't got second chances. So at the end of the day, when I see, okay, it happened, I get it. I don't agree with what Ime Udoka did. Again, I'm going to say this. He was wrong. But why can't he get a second chance? And we hear what the Boston Celtics are saying for us, the ownership group, and with Grossbeck and Steve Pagluga, who are great friends of mine. I get that, right? He broke the guidelines. But I also heard Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart talk about Ime Udoka yesterday. And I also heard them say, man, it hurts me that he's not going to be here next year. We want him here. It's obvious that we want him here. Talking about the players, man, he's a great friend of ours, but we have been told that we can't communicate with him, so we haven't spoken with him, but we hate that he's not going to be our coach. So when I hear the players saying that about Ime Udoka, then all of a sudden something comes on with me and says, okay, well, if they feel this way, they be around him the most. They're sharing this locker room with him the most. They're in this gym with him the most. They're in this film room with him the most. Then if they could accept it and they're happy for him and they're saying, hey, you know what? I'm actually happy that a black man is going to get a second chance. We don't know when your second chance is gonna come. Just so happened that if Ime Udoka do get this job, his second chance came a little bit sooner. But at the end of the day, listen, my thing is that I believe he's a grown man. He's gonna learn from this. We all have gotten second chances. Why is he exempt from that? I think he's shown us what he's capable of doing when it comes to bringing a group together to win basketball games. He's shown us how talented he is for as one of the best young coaches in the NBA. Why not?
So you heard the exchange, right? You heard what Jay Williams said. He said it doesn't look good optically. And then Kendrick Perkins was like, wait a minute, this guy deserves a second chance, right? He's like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? He deserves a second chance. Here's my question in all of this. This is my question. And the people that are critical of Ime Udoka are yet to answer this particular question. What law did Ime Udoka break? What's the law that this guy broke? The way people, or some people rather, are against this guy possibly getting another job or something like it would seem as if this guy went out there and committed a crime. I'm not understanding this. He broke a workplace policy for the Boston Celtics. He did not break the law. What is so complicated about this? He did something, or he was involved in something that happens all the time in organizations across the globe. So why is it all of a sudden this one some people want to stand up and all of a sudden start feeling self-righteous about? Where did all of this self-righteousness come from? I don't understand it. When did everybody become so holy and start pointing fingers? Oh, look what he did. Well, who knows what you're doing? That's the first thing. Secondly, there would be no optics if the Celtics didn't make this thing a PR disaster. They're the ones that decided to bring all of this information to the forefront. They were the ones that decided it. They were the ones that created all of this speculation. Why? Because they said Ime Udoka did this with X, Y, and Z party, who we refuse to give you their identities, and therefore they created a scenario in which people will start making assumptions. People will start doing their own research, trying to figure out who it was. They were the ones that caused that. It's either you release all the names since it was consensual, or you handle it in-house. But because they decided to put it in the public forum in the way that they did, one could make the argument they're the ones that created this public perception of Ime Udoka. Because again, he didn't break the law. He had a consensual relationship, according to all the reports, with a workplace employee. How is that breaking the law? How? That's something that they're against. And people at ESPN commenting on it. You're allowed to have relationships with some of your colleagues. So I'm not understanding why I don't get it. If somebody working at ESPN decides to date the next person, it would be awfully hypocritical to then turn around and try to have an opinion about Ime Udoka and what he did with the Boston Celtics. You look like a clown. As a matter of fact, you are a clown. A self-righteous clown. I don't understand this. So to me, I'm very happy that Kendrick Perkins was able to push back a little bit on Jay Williams' position. To me, I don't understand this. I don't get it. And it's one of the reasons reigning defensive player of the year Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics said they're slandering this guy's name and nobody understands why. These are my thoughts and opinions. Whoever disagrees with it, that's your bloody business, to be quite honest with you. I'm not here to understand what you think. I'm here to understand what makes sense. And no one else here, no one is explaining to me why people all of a sudden are so self-righteous. I don't get it. How did all of this become everyone's business? These are my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section and we catch y'all on the next show.